Good day, comrade subscribers. Bonjour, Yorana. Thanks for hanging around. Thought we'd have a look at the Thomson TO7 today, or the 7/70 upgrade version of the TO7, or the tele ordinateur set. So the TO7 was the first machine that Thompson released, I think in 1982, and the /70 was the upgrade. So I think the original had 24K of RAM, upgradable to 48K. Yeah, and of that 24K, I think 16K were used for video. So the 70 upgrades this to 64K of RAM, and it could actually be upgraded to 128K. So as you can see, it's got the we've got the rubber keyboard, and photos I've seen of the 70 actually have a proper mechanical keyboard. So there must be two versions. This must be an earlier version that reused the original TO7 layout, just added the extra 70 there. Yeah, so this is a first gen machine still, even though it's an upgrade. It's still class as a first gen machine apparently. We can compare it with the MO5, the micro ordinateur sync. So this actually came out later apparently. So the MO5 is kind of spectrum-like, what I saw, and came out in response to the French government's Computing for All initiative apparently. So you can see it's quite a lot smaller. There is room for an expansion on the back here, but otherwise, yeah, it's got an external power, an external cassette, but it does have basic built in. And this is a newer machine than the TO7. So the TO7 has a cartridge system, like a cassette, so it's pretty neat. But yeah, so it doesn't actually have basic built in, so you need the cartridge. Where did I put the cartridge? Here we go. So as I showed earlier, so Microsoft Basic version 1, or Basic Microsoft 1.0. So this is the same basic that's in the MO5. Yeah, so it just goes into there, like so. There we go. So let's power it on, because I have had a little fiddle with it, and I think there is an issue with the keyboard that I need to fix. So we'll power it on quickly and have a look, and then we'll pull it apart. Okay, we'll connect it up. So I've got my Sony DVD recorder here. I've freed some space, so let's start recording. Okay, then power on. There we go. So I've got so you can choose the basic cartridge, or whatever cartridge there is, or the light pen, which sits in here. So obviously I can't really use the light pen at the moment because I don't have a CRT connected, but I do have one with a SCART interface that I bought in the UK. So I'll probably do that in the next video. But if we try here, pressing 1 or 2 does nothing. But if you press other keys, there is a little beep. And if we go up to along here, so we get the beep all the way up to 7, but then so this kind of corner here isn't working. So these machines, well, the three that I've got, all have the membrane keyboard, and then the little thin film connectors. So we'll pull this apart and have a look. Hopefully we can fix that, otherwise how am I ever going to choose something? Put that back in there. So I'll stop recording, turn the machine off, and let's open it up. So as we had a look in the quick look video last week, so we've got our little cartridge thing there. We've got our little light pen that stays in there. Reset button here. Nothing on that side. We've got cassette recorder on that side. Then on the back we've got our expansions. So it looks like we've got 3 expansion ports. So this is the nano network adapter that came with the machine. I'll probably steal that for something else. 19-pin connector, which aren't easy to get, but it slots on like that, which is nice and unobtrusive. Let's pull that out. And then we've got a smaller one here, so I don't know, I haven't looked it up. Maybe it's printer, I don't know. So we've got built-in power and on-off switch there. I hate bloody built-in cables, they're a pain in the arse. So we've got SCART and we've got power. Plus we have this little socket here, like a 2.1mm DC socket here, so I'm not sure what that's for. That's interesting. Let's turn it over. So we've got a screw there and then 6 other screws the same. So I don't know what that one is. I could probably have a look actually when I pull the machine out apart. So what have we got here? So 220 volts, 50 hertz, 20 watts without extension, and up to 35 watts with all extensions. And we've got an 800, a T-type 800 milliamp fuse, 250 volts. Fabrique en France, made in France. So we'll just undo all these screws and have a look inside. Oh, I just noticed a little red power LED right in the corner there. Very unobtrusive. Didn't even notice that there. So there we go. Almost done. So I'm going to come out. Maybe I'll come back. Oh, there we go. This one. Okay, it's almost out, I think. And then one here. I'll have a look what that's. See, this is quite a long. Is it coming out? A little bit more. So it's quite a long one actually. So see what that's holding in. And I think go over this way. We'll go with bloody cables. Away all the time. All right, that screw's come out. There we go. Okay, cartridge is out. Okay, that lifts off. Okay, all right, we've still got. Okay, we've got the light pen. We've got the light pen, and we've got the reset button are connected. So let's disconnect those. Okay, these pull out. What's this one? All right, that's the reset button. So reset button's out, and then the light pen's under the keyboard. Okay, so we've got the 2 little thin film at the front here. Be careful with that, as always. I guess that just pulls up. They just pull out by the look of it. Okay. Ugh. So I don't really like them, but anyway, they seem to be okay. All right, we've got this min. So I don't know what the min light is. Obviously, if I read the documentation, it'll tell me. Let's go back out. Okay, so that connects to there. Okay, so that's the keyboard. We wanted to have a look at that because the keys aren't working. All right, light pen connector. Don't pull on the cables, Brett. Okay, light pen connector's out. So on the other machines that I've got the MO5 and the MO6. It's got an external, it's got a DIN socket for the light pen. Can't use this one because it's built into this one. But actually, looking at this, look at this mechanism. So this is from the cartridge, the ROM cartridge. How cool is that? So if I press the button, make sure it's in focus. There we go. God, you wouldn't want any of that to break, would you? And actually, this cast part here is pretty neat. So when you look at the cartridge doesn't actually like slot in like that. You actually push it in and play it down. So obviously you want to make sure the connections it makes here are nice and solid. So you're basically just relying on pressure, really, aren't you? Making sure the pressure is there. So when you look in the cartridge slot here, you actually do have this bit of metal that pushes down on the front of the cartridge. So you put the cartridge in, and then that kind of makes sure it pushes down like so. So it's a nice solid connection, I guess. That's pretty neat. Neat mechanism. I wouldn't want it to fail. Right, put that over there. Okay, so pretty standard machine. You know, looking at the other machines, we've got the gate array there. We've got the 6809 there, or E, which I think the E is the external clock, external crystals. I mean, that's a peripheral interface adapter or a versatile interface, whatever they call it on this one, on the Motorla ones. Expansion interfaces. There's cartridge slot there, so power supply. Got a few things, and then we've got our RGB SCART there. Well, there's that. I don't know if can I pull the. Let's have a closer look. Okay, so there's our power supply, a little power LED. So I guess pretty standard. It's a power supply. There's our little socket. So I can't really see what it says there. EPC1 or EPO, it doesn't matter. I'll look at the service manual, look at the schematics. So pretty standard for a computer of the early to mid 80s, I guess, European mid 80s. So obviously that's the cartridge there. We've got interface adapter, CPU, gate array that pretty much does everything. I don't know what that is. BZI, BZ1, BZI, BZ1, I don't know. Interesting. 8082, 8082, I don't know. So, well, no, that's the RAM up there, I guess. Oh, neat little diagram there for the cabling. What goes where? Alim, so it'll be power anyway. Half in French and half in English. So there we go. So yeah, I need to look at the keyboard, but I also want to try and figure out what that is, if it is actually connected to anything. I guess the easiest thing to do would be just to check it when it's powered on to see what it's producing. So actually the power supply was pretty easy to get out. Actually I don't want to lose where that came from. That came off something. Sat on something. But yeah, just pretty much pulled straight out. So that's how easy is that. That is nice for a change. Power supply can be removed so easily. So you can get to the fuse. More importantly, there's probably an X2 safety fuse. It's probably going to blow, but this one probably is quite okay. Just double check what that one is. At the X2? Yeah, that's the X2. There's an X2 there as well. Two X2s, safety fuses. Yeah, this is interesting. The way they've shaped it and using it for a heatsink as well. So how good is that? Thermal paste seems okay still. But yeah, so that's that socket there. goes down to here. I was just trying to see, so this is obviously the power to the machine. Just trying to see if there was any direct connection. Oh, there is two, but is this the outside one the ground? I would have thought that is probably maybe ground. Well, that says plus, so one of it's connected to these two, and then the other one's connected, well, that's a link up to here. Okay, so it's connected up to this yellow one. Maybe it's 12 volts. I would have thought so. Yep, so that socket there is connected to these two brown ones and this yellow one. So I'm thinking it's maybe 12 volts, which is what the cassette recorder uses. Doesn't actually say, but there'll be documentation somewhere. Anyway, all right, put this back in, and let's have a look at the keyboard. So actually, what I could do if I really wanted to, because we've got the Euro plug, is just actually cut this off. All they've done here really is just solder it to the switch. So I could just very easily replace this whole cable with an Aussie one actually. I might do that actually, rather than change the plug. Yep, alright, I'll keep that out. Keep that out and do that, whilst we have a look at the keyboard next. I might just quickly check what the voltage actually is. So what do I reckon? This is maybe negative, and so it is powered on. I've got the red LEDs on, and yeah, 12 unregulated. About 13 volts. Yeah, 12.9 volts, so 13 volts. So unregulated, I guess, maybe. It's about 13 volts or 12 volts under load. So yeah, so I could use that to power the cassette recorder. So yeah, let me just power it off. Okay, wait for the LED to die. Slowly. Okay, now I'll move it out of the way and have a look at the keyboard. So the keyboard, which actually, for a change, looks pretty easy to pull apart and thus also to clean. I won't do it today because I want to actually use it, but that's nice and hefty. Right, so the keys that weren't working are these ones here, which you probably can't see because of the reflection. So it's this one here, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stop, CNT, whatever that is, which is connected up to there. So these are all connected up to here. So I'm tempted just to, well, does it peel apart pretty easily, just to give that a quick spray with IPA and see if that'll fix it. We're looking here, I don't know about, so that's the affected ones there, all come down to here. So maybe, I don't have any deoxide or whatever, so I've got IPA, it's probably the best I can do. Give it a go, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, I decided against replacing the power cable, because this is actually quite a long, power cable. So, and the ones I've got I don't really like, so that will be staying on there. I'll just change the plug later. Where did this come from? So it's got cross hatching on there. So whatever was sitting on it, it's got, looks like that, and then that on the bottom. So that looks kind of like these vents. So I don't know if it was sitting like that. It's in the middle. I don't really see anything crosshatched in the middle, but oh well. That's where it's going now. So push the on-off switch through. Like so. Okay. There we go. That's where it goes. On the corner there. Or actually over there on the side maybe. Okay. Let me just grab it out. There we go. And I guess it just sits there. Right. Power cable back in. Looped there, through there. Reconnect the power. Le power. Power LED there. Okay, keyboard. Let's see. Right, so what was this one? Okay, we've got to put the light pin in. Let's bring the top case back over. So I'm going to pull this apart again so I can clean it all. Right, so that goes over to there. Light pin goes under here. Very delicate little wires. Okay. And then that cable goes somewhere. Put the rest of the keyboard back together. All just sits together, no screws, no nothing. Okay. It just sits down. Sits like that. Reconnect whatever this LED is. And put these wires back in here. Like so. And like so. There we go. Then plug the keyboard. See very carefully, I assume. So I guess they just both sit in there like that. Okay, that's pushed down. Okay, that's pushed down. And the lid back on. So I wouldn't normally screw it back up, but because of the cartridge reader, the way the cartridge reader needs to make a good contact, I'm guessing it needs to be kind of, case needs to be, let me get that out. Okay, I'll screw it back together. Let's see if those keys work. Right, let's start recording. And we've got power on. Power on. Is it going to work? Still no good. Well, that's annoying. All right. I'm going to have a bit more of a look at that. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull it apart again, have another look. Okay, well I think, yeah, so that's part one I think. I think I've droned on long enough about this machine. I'll get some cartridges made up. If I can get the keyboard working. I'll get some cartridges made up so that we can also load some other things. But I need to look a bit more at what might not be working here. Everything else is working. I don't know what that min is because it hasn't lit up yet. Yeah, definitely. Okay, sorry, can't show you more than what's on the screen at the moment, but yeah, we'll get there. Bye for now.